Welcome to Prius TV. This is one of the last few episodes that we are going to do. We're going to replace the inverter cooling pump, which is this thing right here. We're going to change the fluid because, well, that doesn't look too bad. But if you look in here, this is not good fluid. So we're going to change out this cooling system for the engine. And this is the cooling system for the inverter. We're going to be using genuine Toyota antifreeze for each of the cooling systems. This pump right here actually has the bracket, so we can take off the entire bracket down there and replace it with this. Now there's two different ways of going about this. We can disconnect this and sort of lift this up out of the way and try to meander our way down there, which is difficult, but it can be done. Second way is loosening up this, taking off the headlight, and moving the bumper a little bit off to the side to have a lot more access. So just for fun, I want to see how difficult it is going down this way to replace. Well, let's go ahead and start with the easy one. Let's go ahead and drain and fill the cooling of the engine side. All right, on this side, right underneath here, you will see this. I just moved this shroud out of the way. It's connected like this. And I just unbolted it. Put it up that way. And as you can see, I made sure that I know where the off is. So we're going to undo this real quick and let it drain. It will come out this hose as it splashes everywhere. I'm very sure this has not been changed out in 160,000 miles and it looks awful. To let everything drain completely out of here, I pulled this off and let it all just drain down there. So the bottom of my, so I had to clean that up, but that's completely empty now. So it's time to fill up this and this. And of course it's just as easy as putting it in a funnel. It's a long, slow process. Just keep on pouring the antifreeze in there until it just doesn't bubble down anymore. Alright, so I almost used the entire gallon and it's not bubbling, so I'm going to turn on the car real quick. I'm going to turn on the air conditioner so it actually Alright, so I ran it just enough to finish up the rest of the coolant and I topped off. That side is done for now. I just pressed that twice so the car's not on, but the engine is off, but you can hear the clicking down there. And we're going to look in here to see if we see any flow. That should be the pump, and we should see flow through here. However, we don't see any flow. That means the pump is not working. So we do have to replace it. Alright, so it looks very light pink, like it definitely needs to be changed. Alright, that was just way too easy. A bolt here and a bolt up there and a bolt down here, just took that off. And look at this. I have all sorts of access to it. Definitely take that off. So much more convenient. Yeah, I honestly don't know how you could do all this stuff without busting your knuckles all up, without removing that. Those three bolts, really easy. This thing came off. I unplugged it and look, it just comes off real easy. That was incredibly easy. So I unscrewed this. And I will screw it into the one that's already there. New one in place, and now I'm going to take these caps off. and put the hose on. I just want to make sure I didn't get no junk in there while I was putting everything back together. Super easy, man. Just use some pliers and just put that back together. That was easy. Plug it back in. All right. I popped this out to make it easier, so I'm gonna put the hose back in. The clamp. That was incredibly easy. I would never, I would not suggest trying to go through the top there, and that was just a waste of my time. All right, the only thing I did on this was unplug that to make it easily turn. So I'm going to plug that back in as I put my light back in place. All right, so we have everything replaced, and now we're going to fill this, and then we're going to use the bleeder to bleed all the air out. And look at it flow now. That's what I'm talking about. I cracked that, and I'm using Grandpa's nasal cannula. Gonna cut a little piece. Needed this right here. This seemed to work a little bit better, so it just blew a bunch of bubbles. That was it, huh? No more bubbles? No more bubbles. Well, that was really an easy bleed. And there we go, a nice flow. We're gonna top it off to full here now. And this is the overfull, so I lifted it up so it would not run out that hole as I was filling it up. Making sure I don't have any tools on the engine before I start it. Everything's shut and locked. That's very important. And I'm gonna go. All right, so got the motor started. Turning on the air conditioner, that way the engine will start. And we're going to make sure this is topped off. Make sure this stays full, and we are done. Final step of making this the most incredible Prius ever. The last episode what we did is we replaced the fluid, and we replaced the pump on the inverter, and we also replaced all the coolant in the engine compartment. Now what we're going to be doing is we are going to be replacing the transaxle fluid, which is right next to this. This is how you drain the coolant, and you know this because there are the coolant lines right in here. This is the transaxle, and you can tell that we are going to have to take that open, and we are going to drain the transaxle fluid, and above it, if we can see, that is where we're going to put the fluid back in. I'm using a T55 to loosen this up and take it off. All right, I broke it free. I'm just going to loosen this. I'm going to put this bowl up here so it doesn't splash. This is really sludgy looking, and that's why we're changing it out. All right, using a 24 millimeter, we're going to take off the top, and it easily comes off right there. There's our filling hole right there, and there's our drain. Of course, this is all upside down. This is our fill plug. Everything looks good, and even the crush washer looks good. I got this little transfer pump. And fish this out. Ah, look at that. You see the top of that? Full of sludge. It's a magnet, so this is all the metal particles that it caught. So let's go ahead and clean this up. And this is why you replace the transaxle fluid every 50,000 miles. All right, I kind of want to give you an idea of what this looks like. The red that it's supposed to be is not really there. It's really, really black, and it's supposed to be more red. Okay, and remember, we have two different types of plugs. We got one with a magnet, and one without a magnet. This is your fill. This is the very top one that you were going to close off at the very end. And this is the one that is in the bottom that we're going to tighten up because this is our magnet. So let's go ahead and put this thing in real quick. All right, as we roll underneath, we got the fill hole up there and the drain down here. We're going to use the one with the magnet, and we're going to screw this in with our hands because we don't want to cross the thread on accident. Should easily tighten up. And then we're going to use our T55 right here, and we're going to tighten that up. Now you have two different ways of filling this. You can run a tube from up here all the way down to the drain, which you can do. I mean, it's okay. Or if you have one of these fluid pumps, what you can do is you can put one end into it and the other end into the bottle and pump it in. Remember to only use Toyota fluids. They're not that expensive. Top. Go ahead and start pumping. And comparatively, this is how red and beautiful it's supposed to look as you're pumping it back into the transaxle. Okay, it started to dribble out just a little bit, so we know that it's full, so we're going to take this hose out. It took 4 quarts of ATFWS. Alright, so took that out, and now we're going to replace this. So thank you very much for watching. If this has helped you at all, please leave me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll catch you some other time on another channel, not Prius TV, maybe Paramotor TV. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again.